been, and it would be the realest that it's ever been.
The record, The Funeral of God, was actually, we had taken around 4 months to write, which is something that Zao has never done in the past, because Zao was more or less a put-together project, and we were always pressed for time. There was always some sort of dramatic event, Jesse had lived in West Virginia, so we would have 3 hours to drive to Jesse's house to practice and write a record. So it was really cool because when we had first got onto Ferret, it was just finally a sense of freedom and relaxation. We could, Carl was into, a lot more ideas as far as what Solid State, had, wanted from us, in the past and stuff. We had just taken as much time as we could, and, me and Scott had gotten together. It was a Zao that we had never kind of been a part of before because it was so easy and so fluid. It was just different. It was something that we weren't used to. We had went into the studio, I think in about February, and we were working with the producer engineer by the name of Eric Rachel. And he was a lot different than what we were used to as far as, an engineer being used to, going to record with. Barry Pointer, as far as what he has done for us, I think it's exactly what we needed at the time. And what Eric Rachel brought to the table, it was just I think he was used to working with that kind of material. As far as when we went to Barry, he wasn't sure exactly what we wanted to do. He had really hadn't had any previous projects before us, I think, except before Living Sacrifice, which recorded with Barry. But Eric, I think, was exactly what we needed for Funeral of God, because he got us to the point where, it was the first time where we actually had to be particular about, what we were recording, as far as the guitar parts, doing multiple upon multiple takes and guitar parts and multiple tracks of the drums, and we had to be more precise than we were used to in the past. So that was kind of different and kind of new to us, and so we just we went with it. There were times where we were frustrated, but we wanted to come out with something that was totally different and new for Zao. And so with the 2 weeks of time that we had, we experimented with guitar tones, ton of drum sounds, and just different things that Zao wasn't used to sounding like before.
And having Dan come back and sing this record, if he was out of the band, we would never have gotten that record. We would never have gotten those lyrics. We would never have, had a chance to see that come to light with Zao. And I don't know, that was the best thing about that record are the lyrics. The recording's amazing, the songs are awesome, but the lyrics are just
we were stoked on it. It definitely, kind of changed how I looked at a lot of stuff with Christianity and religion as well. I thoroughly, just as a listener, got something out of the record.
And it was a cool bomb to drop on everybody. Zao's back, and look at what their record's called. It was shock value, but not shock value for shock value's sake, where it's ooh, look at us, we're gonna piss people off. It was there's a legitimate thought, and feeling put into the record, and at the same time it was
it was anybody that like, you know, knew Zao, like, you know, funeral got there, like, wow, what's going on there? And it was cool, you know, and it's like we got that, you know, reaction from the press, and, you know, and I think kids that actually like took a second to like, you know, be like, whoa, what are, you know, what are they doing? And like actually like, read through the lyrics. I think they got something out of it, you know. I mean, we definitely turned a lot of people off, and there was a lot of stores that had carried Zao in the past that like, refused to carry, just wrote it off right after the title. And you know, I mean, I think that is something they expected when, you know, even when they put together the concept of the record. Yeah. And it kind of illustrates, you know, the point of the record. Like, you know, you're not the most open-minded dude if you won't even open the book just because of the cover.